Don't just say they matter. Make them feel it. Because words are easy, my friend. They fall like raindrops, soft and endless, but actions are the thunder that wakes the soul. When someone truly matters to you, it is not enough to tell them. Your presence must echo louder than your promises. You must become a constant reminder that they are seen, valued, and not alone. The world is overflowing with people who speak of love, but starving for those who show it. We live in a time where everyone is busy crafting words, but few are building memories. We post affection on social media, but forget to show up when the storm hits. We say, I'm here for you, but vanish when it's inconvenient. When someone matters to you, your presence becomes their shelter. Your consistency becomes their peace. Don't let your care be seasonal. Let it be rooted, because the people who matter the most will never ask for your perfection. They only crave your presence. You see, when you truly care about someone, your actions become your loudest love language. It's in the small things, remembering their fears, celebrating their victories, checking in when they fall silent. It's not about the grand gestures. It's about the moments where you could have chosen to look away, but didn't. Love is not proven in the spotlight. It's tested in the shadows. The unseen moments define how deeply someone truly matters to you. Many people say, I love you, but fewer ask, how are you really? Words can comfort, but only actions can heal. You can tell someone they matter 1,000 times, but if your behavior contradicts your speech, your words will lose their wings. The soul recognizes truth, not through language, but through consistency. When someone matters, they should never have to wonder where they stand in your life. Don't leave them decoding mixed signals when they should be resting in your certainty. Sometimes love is not loud, it's steady. It's not in the fireworks, but in the flame that refuses to die. When someone matters to you, it's not about doing everything right. It's about showing up even when it's hard. Be there when it's messy. Be there when it's inconvenient. Be there when it costs you time, pride, or comfort. That's where real connection breathes. There will be moments when the people who matter to you will test your patience, disappoint you, or drift away in silence. Don't respond with ego. Respond with empathy. Because when love is genuine, understanding becomes your reflex. You don't keep score, you keep faith. You don't give up easily because you know that when someone truly matters, they're worth the extra mile, the awkward conversation, the late night apology, the forgiveness you didn't think you could give. And yes, sometimes loving someone deeply will hurt. It will stretch you, break you, humble you. But that's the beauty of care. It teaches you to grow beyond yourself, to love someone enough to stay when leaving would be easier, to speak peace when your pride wants to scream, to listen when your heart wants to defend. Love that matters demands courage, not comfort. When someone matters to you, they become part of your responsibility, not in ownership but in stewardship. You are entrusted with a piece of their soul. What you say, what you do, how you respond, it all leaves fingerprints on their heart. Don't underestimate your power in someone's life. Your absence can echo louder than your words ever did. Your silence can wound deeper than your anger. So choose to be the presence that heals, not the absence that scars. And if you ever wonder how to make someone feel that they truly matter, start with sincerity. Listen, not to reply, but to understand. Celebrate them when no one else does. Protect their name when they are not in the room. Remind them of their worth when life forgets to. Because when someone matters, your care must not depend on convenience. It must be anchored in compassion. In the end, love is not about saying the right thing. It's about being the right person. The one who stays, the one who shows up, the one whose actions speak even when words run dry. Because one day, they will remember not what you said, but how you made them feel. And that is the real legacy of love. Making someone feel seen in a world that too often looks away. We never lose people all at once. It doesn't happen in a single argument, a single silence, or a single goodbye. We lose them slowly, moment by moment, choice by choice. We lose them when we stop paying attention, when we stop fighting for their place in our lives, when we start treating their presence like it will always be guaranteed. The truth is, when someone matters to you, their value is not proven in how loudly you love them, but in how fiercely you refuse to lose them to neglect. It's easy to say someone is important, but real importance is proven in the moments you decide not to let them slip away. Relationships don't fade because love disappears. They fade because effort does. We grow so used to their presence that we start to forget the weight of their absence. We take for granted that people who answer our calls, who forgive our silences, who still believe in us when we give them reasons not to. And one day, we look up and realize they've grown tired. Not because they stopped caring, but because they got tired of caring alone. When someone truly matters, you have to protect their place in your life with attention, not assumption. Don't assume they'll always understand. Don't assume they'll always wait. Even the strongest hearts get tired of being treated like background noise. The people who matter to you should feel chosen, not just once, but again and again in every season, especially when life gets busy, because love that isn't watered by effort will eventually dry out in silence. We lose people not through explosions, but through erosion. Every unanswered message, every broken promise, every I'll do it later begins to chip away at the connection. And the saddest part is, we often realize their worth when the distance becomes permanent. We remember the sound of their laughter, the comfort of their presence, the warmth they brought into our chaos, and we whisper, I should have done more. But by then our apologies echo in an empty room. If someone matters to you, fight for them before silence becomes your only conversation. Be intentional. Be consistent. Don't wait for them to beg for your time or attention. Offer it freely. Love is not proven by convenience, but by commitment. It's easy to show up when everything is perfect. The real test is showing up when it's hard, when you're tired, when your ego is loud, when someone matters. Their presence in your life is not a favor. It's a blessing. Protect it like you would protect your peace, because in many ways they hire your peace. Too many times we lose good people because we assume they'll never leave. We think love alone is enough to keep them, but love without effort is like a flame without oxygen. It fades no matter how bright it once burned. Don't let pride or comfort make you forget that relationships are living things. They need nurturing, they need communication, they need intention. The people who matter deserve to feel seen even when they're quiet, appreciated even when they're near, and valued even when the world forgets them. When someone matters to you, learn to choose them even in moments of misunderstanding. It's easy to love when it's simple, but the beauty of care is proven when it's complicated. Don't throw away years of love over a few moments of hurt. Don't let temporary anger destroy something permanent. Step back, breathe. Remember who they are beyond the conflict, because when someone matters, being right becomes less important than being kind. And yes, sometimes the people we care about will drift away, not because we stopped loving them, but because we stopped showing them that they were still loved. Don't let that be your story. Don't be the one who looks back and realizes that silence became the coffin for something that was still alive. If they matter, speak up. If they matter, reach out. If they matter, remind them. Not because they've forgotten, but because life gets heavy, and we all need to be reminded that we are still worth someone's effort. In the end, the people who matter to you are not meant to be managed like possessions. They are souls entrusted to your care. Treat them with reverence. Show them that their presence in your life is not taken for granted. Because one day, when memories are all that's left, you'll want to look back and know you didn't lose them through neglect. You held them through love. And that is the truest way to keep someone who matters. Not by chaining them to your life, but by cherishing them so deeply that they never have to question their place in your heart. This world has convinced us that love makes us weak, that caring too deeply exposes us to pain, and that vulnerability is something to be ashamed of. But the truth is the complete opposite. Love is not weakness, it's sacred strength. To love someone in a world that glorifies detachment is an act of rebellion. To open your heart, to care without a mask, to stand unguarded in a world that values indifference, that is courage. When someone matters to you, your love becomes a shield, not a scar. It doesn't make you fragile, it makes you alive. People often say, don't care too much, you'll get hurt. But what they don't realize is that not caring at all is a greater wound. When you choose to love, you choose to grow, you stretch beyond yourself. You learn patience, forgiveness, understanding. Love builds spiritual muscle. It doesn't weaken your spine, it strengthens your soul. The strongest people are not those who hide behind walls. They are the ones who stand in the open and still choose kindness. There's a sacred beauty in loving even when it hurts. Because love demands something from us. It asks us to stay when it's inconvenient, to forgive when it's undeserved, to trust when we're afraid. When someone matters to you, you will find strength you didn't know you had. You'll hold their hand through storms that weren't meant for you. You'll pray for them even when they're silent. And you'll forgive even when your pride screams not to. That's not weakness, that's divine resilience. The world will tell you to protect yourself, to not give too much, to love with conditions. But love without risk isn't love. It's a transaction. When someone matters, you give because you can, not because you expect. You show up even when it's not returned. You stay soft even when life hardens you. Because your love is not dependent on their perfection. It's rooted in your purpose. You love not because it's easy, but because it's sacred. When someone matters, your love for them is not about control, it's about freedom. You don't chain them to you. You lift them. You love them enough to let them breathe, to let them become who they were meant to be, even if it means letting go when it's time. Love doesn't trap. It teaches you that real strength is not in holding tighter, but in holding better. It's in the moments you choose patience over anger, understanding over judgment, grace over pride. People confuse love with possession, but the truth is, love is liberation. When someone matters to you, you don't want to own them. You want to protect their peace, their dreams, their light. You want to be their safe place in a world that often feels unsafe. That's why love is the purest form of strength. It builds rather than breaks. It heals rather than harms. There will be times when loving deeply will hurt. You will be misunderstood. You will be taken for granted. You will give your best and receive silence. But that doesn't mean your love was wasted. The love you give is never lost. It transforms you. It refines you. It shows you who you are beneath the armor. Love teaches you to rise again, to forgive without losing yourself, to remain kind in a world that often rewards cruelty. Never let the pain of loving make you bitter. Let it make you wiser, softer, stronger. Because when someone matters to you, it's not about avoiding the risk of being hurt. It's about choosing the reward of being real. Vulnerability is not your weakness. It is the birthplace of everything meaningful. Connection, trust, growth, peace. The people who truly matter will never see your tenderness as a flaw. They will recognize it as the rare strength that it is. If you love someone, don't hide it behind pride. Don't wait for them to deserve your care. Show them that your heart is brave enough to love without fear, because this world doesn't need more guarded souls. It needs more people who love loudly, who care deeply, who give freely. The kind of love that doesn't seek perfection, only connection. And when you love like that, you become unbreakable, because real strength is not about building walls. It's about building bridges. When someone matters to you, be it proof that love still exists, that softness is not a flaw, that compassion is not outdated. Be the reminder that love, true, unconditional love, is the most powerful force on earth. And that is how love, far from making you weak, becomes your greatest source of strength. When someone matters to you, your presence in their life becomes part of their story. You are either a source of peace or a source of pain, a chapter of healing or a lesson of heartbreak. Every word you speak, every silence you keep, every choice you make weaves itself into the fabric of their emotional world. That is the sacred weight of connection. When someone matters to you, you don't just exist beside them. You influence the way they see themselves, the way they trust, the way they hope. Your love, your care, your attention, they can become a form of healing, a reminder that good still exists in a world that often forgets to be kind. We live in times where people carry invisible wounds, scars from betrayal, loss, and loneliness. Everyone is fighting battles we cannot see. So when someone truly matters to you, don't add to their pain, help them feel safe again. Be the voice that calms their chaos, the hand that doesn't let go when life shakes them. Too often we underestimate how much power we hold in another person's life. The right word at the right moment can stop a breakdown. A small act of love can rebuild faith. Your kindness can be the difference between someone giving up or trying again. That is what it means to make someone's story safer, because you exist in it. When someone matters, you become responsible, not for their happiness, but for how your presence affects their peace. You can't save them from every storm, but you can stand beside them so they don't have to face it alone. You can't erase their past, but you can help them believe that their future still holds beauty. That's what love does. It doesn't fix everything, but it makes the pain easier to carry. It whispers, you are not alone. When the world is too loud, people don't always remember what you gave them, but they will always remember how you made them feel. When someone matters to you, don't be careless with their heart. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't disappear when they need you most. Sometimes your reliability is the very medicine their soul needs. Be gentle with your words, intentional with your time, and generous with your understanding. Because when you truly matter to someone, they open parts of themselves they've kept hidden from the world. And that trust is sacred. Protect it. We often think love is about big gestures, but most of the time, it's built in small, quiet acts of consistency. Checking in, listening, remembering, choosing to stay, even when it's easier to leave. When someone matters, you'll keep score, you keep showing up. Love is not measured in intensity, it's measured in endurance. It's not about how loudly you declare it once, but how softly you keep proving it every day. And yes, sometimes you will fail. Sometimes you will hurt the very person you meant to protect. But when that happens, take responsibility quickly. Healing begins not with perfection, but with humility. A simple "I'm sorry" said with sincerity can rebuild what pride would have destroyed. When someone matters, your ego should never be louder than your care. You don't have to be flawless to make their story safer. You just have to be real, honest, and willing to learn. We all have the power to be someone's light in their dark season. Maybe you can't take away their pain, but you can make sure they don't face it alone. Maybe you can't solve their problems, but you can make sure they don't lose faith in love. That's the kind of presence that leaves an eternal mark, the kind that heals silently, that loves without demanding, that gives without keeping count. When someone matters to you, you should never let them doubt their worth because of your neglect. Remind them that they're valued, that they're enough, that they are loved not for what they do, but for who they are. This world has enough noise, enough judgment, enough pretending. What it needs more of are people who choose to love with depth, with patience, with sincerity. So if someone truly matters to you, let your life be a place where they feel safe to be human, safe to cry, to dream, to fall, and to rise again. Let them know that your presence in their story will always be one of light, not shadow. Because at the end of it all, love isn't about possession, it's about protection. And that is how you make someone's story safer, by being the reason they still believe in the goodness of hearts.